All right, I'm back. It's only been a matter of seconds, but anyway, I'm back. I flipped my slides so I know what to talk about. And so we have some plant specialized organelles. I already mentioned plasmodesmata, right? And we'd said that is where plant cells can exchange fluid between them. But then we have something called plastids, which are membrane-bound organelles, and in some cases they carry color. We will see some plastids in lab next 2 weeks where you'll see the colors. So some of the colors that are found in plants are in these little structures. Now, what is the main color of a plant? Green, right. So, and that is from a specialized organelle called a chloroplast. I'm not green, you're not green. We can't do what plants can do, right? What can plants do that we can't do? If I go out in that sun out there, my skin turns dark, but I don't produce energy. I probably increase my risk of skin cancer. But a plant, it dies if it doesn't have access to the sun. And the reason for that is they have a type of an organelle that is called a chloroplast. And it contains green pigment, and that's why plants are green. And that green pigment the light from the sun is absorbed by that green pigment and is used to make sugars. Plants, you don't have to feed a plant. Now, when you fertilize a plant, what you're doing is you're giving them trace minerals that they need. But their eating comes from the sun. And it's the chloroplast which does this. Now, remember when we were talking about that mitochondria? We said that mitochondria, it started life, millions of years ago as a free living organism. And this is the theory anyway. And the reason we have this theory, why? It's because they have their own DNA. It's just like, that is very similar to a bacterium. Well, so does a chloroplast. And chloroplast also has a double membrane. And we had said this endosymbiont theory, the reason we think the mitochondria started out as a free living organism is because of that. And we had the same thing in a chloroplast. So in both cases, we think their origin was as a free living organism that got eaten but not digested. And lo and behold, it's pretty good for plants. They don't even have to eat. They just depend on the sun. Now, what happens, speaking of plants, what happens with a plant if you forget to water it? It wilts, right? And that's because they depend on water. We have skeletons, various types of skeletons, either an exoskeleton if we're a bug, or a bony skeleton like you and I. Plants are filled with water, and inside of each of their cells, they have a big bubble of water in something called a water vacuole. Now, we're going to look at people cells in lab, and we're going to look at plant cells. And when you look at these, they're going to look very, very different. Plants are going to look like bricks in the wall. Reminds you of a song, doesn't it? The Wall. Doesn't matter. And the reason they look like bricks in the wall is they have something that you and I don't have. Something more that you and I don't have. They have a cell wall. Now remember, when we were talking about us, we said a cell membrane. They have cell membranes too. But in addition to the cell membrane, they have a cell wall. That's what wood is. Wood is made up of this really tough material in these cell walls. So, so that's the last of the organelles that I have on my list here to talk about. And I see I have one more thing to talk about, which goes back to that HIV. And so we'll see what that is, and I'll have a short video for that as well.